It's the far future, and something stirs beneath the earth. The newly independent Artemis AI, confused and malfunctioning, creates a new creature through genetic engineering to be released into the wild world of Zero Dawn. A wolf bigger than a polar bear. A beast more than an animal. But will it survive this strange new world that it was never meant to inhabit? Hello, so I recently found these two YouTubers. They make these really great videos where they take a real or fictional species and play them in a new environment, trying to see if it will survive. This is what inspired this video, where we will see if the Direwolf from Ark will survive the world of Horizon Zero Dawn. So let's start. First, let's establish the world that we are dealing with. Spoilers ahead. Zero Dawn takes place in a post-apocalyptic future, after a grey goo scenario started to wipe out all life on the planet. Humanity built a terraforming system named Gaia to repopulate the Earth with life. For that to be possible, it built machines to clean the environment, collect resources, and gather information. Due to reasons I won't explain here, Gaia was destroyed and her subfunctions went rogue. Ark's Direwolf, Anis Maxidorus, can be seen living on the different maps' cold biomes. The big exception is Scorched Earth, where they mostly hang out in the center on the map near the water sources. However, we shouldn't forget that the Arks are artificial environments that literally keep up two predators for one prey animal each, so we can disregard this. This leaves us with four options: the Nora Sacred Land, the Long Roam and Valley Met, the Cut, and this land north of the Sundom. These regions should provide ideal climate for the Direwolf, while the ones in the south are warmer but also include more food. Which brings up the matter of food. While real wolves will eat fruits or berries, Ark's Direwolves are pure carnivores, and we will treat them as such. This poses a serious issue since the world is filled with many animals, but they are quite limited in size and variety. As mentioned before, Ark's direwolves are massive. A polar bear would need at least 45 kilograms or 99 pounds of meat every day. The pioneer species released by Gaia through Artemis include badgers, boars, foxes, goats, geese, owls, rabbits, raccoons, rats, salmon, squirrels, trout, and turkey. We can ignore those animals simply too small to feed such a massive creature. We must also acknowledge that in Zero Dawn all animals are of the same size, however that is clearly a game mechanic and not actually part of the canon. Luckily, hunting would be rather easy since the only real predators in this world are the foxes I mentioned above and the humans. This is why the animals are rather slow and oblivious. I think anyone who's ever hunted in the game will know just how easy it is. So even wild turkeys and Canada geese would be very easy to hunt for the wolves, I imagine, especially once they get used to the limited resources. Just like all carnivores on the islands, we know that they eat pretty much anything, including fish. So I can see them sometimes eating salmon, something wolves occasionally do in the real world. Of course, most salmons would be too small, but we shouldn't forget that most rivers and lakes in the game are very shallow. And also, they literally do not flee from predators in the first game. This makes somewhat sense since there are no aquatic predators in the game. However, they did fix that in the sequel, so I'm not sure if I should count that as an inconsistency or not here. But there are three main sources of food: Indian boars, mountain goats, and humans. Ark wolves have the temperament of aggressive, that will attack and eat people just the same as any other creature. While of course real wolves would not attack people, these are not real wolves. If we actually look which regions have the required food, we will see that this region over here is actually quite sparse. It's mostly inhabited by foxes and hares, which are both too small. When it comes to Maker's End, and even more so the Long Roam, we don't even have that much to work with. They are very food poor. However, Valley Med has many boars, turkeys, foxes and raccoons. But the real food paradise is the Cut, filled with goats, boars, badgers, turkeys, geese, salmon and foxes. We also shouldn't forget that outside of the cold climates, like here in the Sun Steppes, there are indeed bigger boars that they could hunt. So presumably they would go down to these regions to hunt. Their size would probably reduce over time. This would be a rather fast process, since Helena's notes actually tell us that animals on the Isle have ridiculous fast gestation periods. Megalodons need only 1 week, 44 times faster than a real great white shark. No, I am doubting that the wolves would also be that fast in their gestation period, since I don't think a mammal with a more complex brain can develop that fast. There are no real mammals that are this fast, but I would still assume that they are much faster than real wolves would reproduce. But let's address the robot elephant in the room. Would the machines be a threat to the direwolves? We don't see machines attacking any animals, and that is because the reason they attack humans in the first place is because humans attacked them first. When Gaia's subordinate functions became independent, Hephaestus, in control of construction, started to make them more aggressive to deter humans from stripping them for parts. When that didn't work, he started to create more and more machines made for killing humans specifically. Direwolves attack machines just the same as they attack living animals, so they would continue this behavior in this new world as well. Since our scenario takes place right at the start of Gaia's destruction, that means most of the dangerous machines wouldn't even exist yet. This would give the direwolf time to adapt in relative safety. A pack of direwolves could take down any machine with a low threat level, though they would struggle with flying machines and ranged attacks, which multiple of them have access to. Maybe over time they would lose their aggression and stop attacking machines altogether. However, a behavior like this I think would need more than 2 decades. This is only the time that they really have to adapt. If we look at the machines that do exist from the start and take away anything under a threat level of 15, we see that the Nora Sacred Lands would be by far the safest option. The Cut would be dangerous, with things only getting worse over time. It would take only 20 years for the Fire Claws to appear, the most deadly machine of them all. And a pack of wolves cannot hunt them down, no matter how big they are. Humans are of course also a factor. They would be the biggest threat in the Sacred Lands. I doubt many wolves would make it all the way into the Embrace, since it's rather well guarded. Though it does contain scrappers, which are similar in size to the direwolves. However, I do think humans would be the greatest asset to the direwolves, actually, because Ark wolves are rather easily tamed and instantly become domesticated. I mean, humanity has domesticated wolves, and that was much harder than these wolves, which are already genetically designed to become tame. I also see this as a great advantage for the people. Humans could also selectively breed them to become smaller and therefore give them more of a chance of survival. Not to mention, humans can plan much better to feed them. So overall, I do think that they are going to survive. At least the domesticated ones. I do believe the wild ones have a chance. After all, humans have not gone extinct yet, even though they are attacked by the machines. Then again, humans can plan much better than the wolves. I think if their aggression goes down over time, then Hephaestus would stop attacking them so much. However, I can also see a scenario where Hephaestus starts making machines specifically to kill direwolves. This was the video for today. I would advise you to check out the 2 channels I mentioned at the start, in the rare chance that you saw my video before theirs. and I wish you a great day. Quick intersection from the editing phase. I just saw the new trailer and it looks goddamn awful. What were they thinking?